Good evening, I'm Fana Sheh and you're tuning into AWANI Tonight. Abu Dhabi's state-owned International Petroleum Investment Company, IPIC, and its unit, Abar Investment PGS, have agreed to pay Malaysia over 8 billion ringgit to settle their legal dispute involving the One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB. The Ministry of Finance said the settlement was in respect of their legal proceedings in the London Court of International Arbitration and the London High Court. The sum will be paid to the Minister of Finance Incorporated and 1MDB. Malaysia in 2018 had filed a challenge in a London court against a settlement agreement between 1MDB and IPIC that had been negotiated a year earlier during the premiership of former leader Datuk Seri Najib Razak. In the 2017 arbitration settlement, Malaysia was obliged to pay $5.78 billion to IPIC and the bond trustee over 5 years. The basis of the legal challenge was that the award was procured by fraud, with Najib playing a central role in the scam and is responsible in getting 1MDB and the MOF Inc. to consent to the arbitration award. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim defends his administration's stand on not giving civil servants a pay raise. He said the move was necessary to reduce Malaysia's growing debt, stressing for the funds to be channeled into programs for the poor instead.
Apa dia problem kita? Utang 1.5 trilion, defisit 5.6%. Kalau kita tambah gaji, defisit jadi 6.5%. Tak ada orang datang melabur lagi negara. Dia tak yakin ada kekuatan tekad politik untuk mengurus negara dengan baik. Jadi sabarlah sekejap. Itu pun saya daripada hasil yang banyak itu saya cuba curahkan.
QPAX, the union representing lower-grade civil servants, said on Friday it was disappointed that the Prime Minister did not heed its call to increase salaries to help them cope with the cost of living squeeze in an immediate response to the revised budget 2023. Anwar urged QPAX to be patient, saying the government's priority now was to help the poorer groups. More needs to be done to address the real threat of Islamophobia, says Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. He called for a reasoned discourse both in the West and the Muslim world to have a better understanding of one another.
I believe if there is a need, is a reasoned discourse, a contestation of ideas, not hatred and enmity. We in Malaysia takes a position, a very moderate position, understanding to work with everybody. I don't think we need to go on harping on the past excesses and injustices of the West, thinking that we are already good. I take a position that the reform of ideas and thinking is required in the West and also simultaneously required in the Muslim world.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and his cabinet ministers must conduct further engagements with communities in rural areas to improve trust for their government. Arina Najwa Ahmad Said from Bauer Group Asia said this when asked about how the government can address a lack of confidence towards the government among some communities.
Number one, in terms of engagement and physical engagement, of course, not everyone is on social media because there's also a demographic issue, an age issue. So I think on how they can improve it is definitely going down to the ground and meeting some of these different communities that the government is trying to, get more airtime with. Right. So if you're looking in areas in Borneo, for example, what the government did or what the Prime Minister did quite well was when the floods happened in the East Coast, he flew down and to show his support and to show some change. But I think there could be a measure of maybe even when it comes to socializing budget, for example, going down to different communities, showing them and showcasing to them what the budget can offer to these people. That maybe then that can build a bit more trust or face-to-face interaction between the public and the Prime Minister.
Despite suggesting physical interaction, Arina did not discount the importance of the online and social media interactions, as it also have significant impacts on the popularity of individual ministers. Arina was responding to a survey on the coalition government's first 100 days, which saw a high dissatisfaction rate among the Peninsular Malays towards the government. In other news, Health Deputy Minister Lukanis Manawang Sauni denied allegations of a data breach involving 3 million COVID-19 vaccine recipient under the MySejahtera application. He told the Dewan Rakyat a super admin had downloaded the data as a preventive measure in response to hacking attempts on the app.
Apabila serangan berlaku, super admin terpaksa melakukan satu tata kelola untuk melihat dan juga memuat naik data-data tersebut. Dan kes ini tidak dapat saya jelaskan di dalam Dewan ini kerana muat naik 3 juta maklumat tersebut masih lagi di dalam siasatan pihak polis.
Previously, the Auditor General's 2021 report revealed that there were 1.12 million attempts to hack the MySejahtera app. It highlighted that a super admin account had suspiciously accessed and downloaded the information of 3 million vaccine recipients from the app, using 5 different IP addresses. Meanwhile, the Immigration Department will increase the number of working days to include weekends at passport issuing offices to overcome congestion over passport-related matters. Home Minister Dato' Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail says a total of 10 million ringgit has been allocated for overtime payment.
Datuk Dipertua, sepanjang tempoh pandemik COVID dan selepasnya, sehinggalah hari ini, kita telah keluarkan hampir 2.5 juta pasport. Daripada 2.5 juta pasport itu, 45% adalah permohonan secara atas talian. Dia mengisi borang, kod syarat, kod gambar yang berkualiti, dia isi dalam tak sampai 5 minit. Cuma pasport dia itu akan ambil masa untuk beberapa hari. Berbanding dia walk in, hari itu juga siap.
According to Saifuddin, 20 passport offices are currently facing high congestion across the federal territories, Selangor, Johor, Perak, Melaka, Penang and Kedah. He also said his ministry was working to address congestion at immigration counters at Malaysia's main entry gates, especially at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA. As an immediate solution, he said the outer gates at KLIA, which are only reserved for Malaysians, will be open to all foreigners from low-risk countries such as Singapore and Brunei. Dato' Sri Zamri Abdul Kadir has withdrawn from the UMNO vice presidential race after a discussion with the party leadership. He says the move was made so that he can focus on his duties as foreign minister. As Barisan National Secretary General, Zamri also said he wished to focus on strengthening relations among component parties, as well as among Barisan and other parties under the coalition government. UMNO is currently holding its internal party elections for all 191 divisions and 22,000 branches nationwide. Elections for the 3 vice president posts and Supreme Council positions will take place on March 18th. Those who have confirmed their candidacy include Titi Wangsa MP Dato' Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, Kota Tinggi MP Dato' Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin, incumbent UMNO Vice President Dato' Sri Mazir Khalid, UMNO Supreme Council member Dato' Sri Rizal American Nain American, and former Johor Chief Minister Dato' Sri Hasni Mohamad. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said he will not be defending his Vice President post next month. In his Budget 2023 speech, Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim spoke of plans to amend the Whistleblower Protection Act. What specific reforms should be made? On Consider This, we speak to the guest about stronger protections for those who speak out. We go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Kami raihkan mereka yang tak gentar melawan arus. Mereka yang dah biasa menjadi luar biasa. Ubah swipe plan kami mengikut gaya hidup anda. Ikutlah gerak hati. Hiduplah dengan sepenuhnya. Inilah plan Celcom Xpax Mix and Match kami. Mix and Match hanya daripada RM20 sebulan dengan internet tanpa had.
Gautinya membawa kepuasan tak terhingga. Nikmati kepuasan hari ini. Gautinya puas. Cuaca panas menyebabkan kelemomor minyak dan kegatalan? Tewaskan kelemomor dengan Clear Ice Cool Menthol. Teknologi 3 kali ganda membersih kulit kepala secara mendalam. 3 kali lebih bersih. Tiada kelemomor, tiada minyak, tiada kegatalan. Clear terbukti menewaskan kelemomor.
Welcome back. One person was killed while 69 others injured in another earthquake that struck Turkey today. Authorities said the magnitude 5.6 quake had also caused damaged buildings to collapse. Monday's earthquake was centered in Malatya province. According to authorities, some 5 buildings in the town have collapsed, including a 4-story building where a father and daughter were trapped. Search and rescue teams had been deployed to the buildings. The tremor hit 3 weeks after a massive earthquake that killed more than 50,000 people in Turkey and Syria. Turkey's disaster management agency said that close to 10,000 aftershocks have hit the region affected by the quake since February 6th. In Hong Kong, 4 people charged in connection with the gruesome killing of model Abby Choi have been remanded without bail after appearing before the court this morning. The 4 were Choi's ex-husband Alex Kwong, his brother and father, who have been charged with murder, while his mother has been charged with perverting the course of justice. The tragic death of Choi has attracted worldwide media attention over the past week as grisly details of her murder emerged.
28-year-old Choi was reported missing on Wednesday. Hong Kong police found parts of her body in a house in the rural Tai Po district on Sunday, roughly 27 kilometers from where she was last seen in Kowloon City on Tuesday. Police also found tools used to dismember human bodies, as well as the victim's ID, credit cards, and other belongings in the home. Other limbs suspected to belong to Choi were earlier found in a refrigerator in about 10 kilometers from the Tai Po house. Police believed that Choi and her former in-laws had many financial disputes involving huge sums of money. Kwong, whom Choi had 2 children with, was arrested on Saturday while trying to leave the city by boat. His parents and elder brother were detained a day earlier.
At least 62 migrants, including 12 children, have died and dozens more are feared missing after their boat sank in rough seas near the southern Italian coast. The wooden vessel was carrying people from Afghanistan, Iran and several other countries when it broke apart and sank while trying to land near Crotone on Sunday.
The exact number of people who were on the boat, which had sailed from Turkey several days ago, is not clear. Authorities said as many as 30 people may still be missing. Rescue workers told local media that the vessel had been carrying more than 200 people, which would mean more than 60 people are unaccounted for. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed deep sorrow for the deaths and blamed human traffickers who profit while offering migrants the false prospect of a safe journey. The incident had reopened a debate on migration in Europe and Italy, where the recently elected right-wing government's tough new laws for migrant rescue charities have drawn criticism from the United Nations and others. Meloni's administration had said migrant rescue charities are encouraging migrants to make the dangerous sea journey to Italy and sometimes work in partnership with traffickers.
That is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. I'm Fana Sheikh. Thank you for watching.